I'm Carol Andrews for another episode of Southwest TV News. Here are some of the stories we've been working on for today's show. This is flu season, and across the province, residents have been lining up for their annual flu shots. And as the general public chooses to roll up their sleeves, one wonders how many healthcare professionals are falling in line with the trend. Swift Current Mayor and Council have approved a new bylaw involving control and regulations of taxi service in the city. The City of Swift Current is planning for future growth and has compiled a guiding document for a housing plan to meet the needs of various residential developments. Thanks for joining us here today. Flu season is here, and as you line up your annual flu shot, you may be wondering if healthcare professionals are doing the same. We have more in today's top story. This is flu season, and across the province, residents have been lining up for their annual flu shots. And as the general public chooses to roll up their sleeves, one wonders how many healthcare professionals are falling in line with the trend. Provincial health system partners have recently issued a position statement on the issue, signed by the Health Minister, CEOs from health regions, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency, the Saskatchewan Medical Association, and the Saskatchewan Registered Nurses Association. The statement includes the importance of healthcare workers taking action to protect patients and themselves from influenza, a guideline which the Cypress Health Region adheres to, and although not mandated, does impress on its close to 1,700 employees across the Southwest to get their annual flu shots, to further ensure quality patient care and safety.
Immunizations are free to all of our staff. We try to make it as convenient as possible for them to be able to get their immunizations. And, we strongly encourage that. So we have been watching with interest the arbitration that's occurred in BC, where it has been deemed that the employer does have the right to say if you're not immunized for influenza, then you will be required to wear a mask if that decision is made through public health. So, as you know, last year, we, just after Christmas, had 6 of our facilities in outbreak, and 3 of them had cases of confirmed influenza. So we very quickly went to mandatory masking if you hadn't had your influenza immunization. We will do the same thing again this year in the event that we are finding ourselves with a significant amount of influenza activity happening within our region.
Vashon adds that at this point in the year, a good portion of Cypress Health Region employees have received their annual flu shots across the region.
I was talking with our medical health officer on Tuesday, and he tells me at this point we have 54% of our staff immunized. We know that to actually get good immunity within a community, we need upwards of 70 and 80% of people immunized. So until we reach those kinds of numbers of people getting their immunizations, it presents a risk to people who, for true medical reasons, can't have the immunization. If everybody else gets immunized, it helps protect those that can't.
Provincial numbers indicate approximately 50% of healthcare staff and physicians in Saskatchewan voluntarily get an annual flu shot. Well, it's been 30 years in the making, and the City of Swift Current finally has a bylaw in place for taxi companies. We have more in this report. Swift Current Mayor and Council have approved a new bylaw involving control and regulations of taxi service in the city. The new regulations, which have not been changed in 30 years, include a variety of stipulations, including the cleanliness of the vehicle. All taxis must now use metered equipment in their vehicles and charge the same flat rate per kilometer. All vehicles must be safety certified, and drivers must partake in background security checks. With the City of Swift Current now the governing entity for setting meter rates.
It's $3.50 per kilometer, and that was based on an averaging that we had done in looking at other rates within the metro area here and also in northern parts of the province where there are more communities that offer taxi services.
A concept which has taken decades to come into force in Swift Current. and will not only bring a fair market to all cab drivers, but ensure the clients receive quality and reputable service.
It's changed to guarantee the safety and the cleanliness and the usefulness of a business that's vital to our community as an alternative mode of transportation, that it's safe, reliable, and something we can be proud of.
Swift Current taxi companies have until January 1st, 2014 to have their fleet of vehicles safety certified to ensure continued licensing in the city of Swift Current. According to city data, there are approximately 27 taxi vehicles now on the road in Swift Current. W.W. Smith Insurance has reached a milestone as it celebrates its centennial. Having served Southwest Saskatchewan for the past 100 years, W.W. Smith Insurance is your motor license issuer, while specializing in all of your personal and commercial needs, including home, auto, agro, business, and life insurance. W.W. Smith Insurance, independently owned and operated since 1913. The City of Swift Current is planning for future growth with a new housing plan in place for key areas of the community. The City of Swift Current is planning for future growth and has compiled a guiding document for a housing plan to meet the needs of various residential developments. Through the assistance of Associated Engineering, the city's housing plan covers the next 25 years, with the intention of developing numerous housing units around the city, most specifically in areas where current buildings will be closed and demolished, with new city projects already set for construction, including the 2 new schools near the hospital and the upcoming long-term care facility. With these projects now on the horizon, land and buildings including Omen, St. Pat's and St. Joseph's Schools, the Prairie Pioneers Lodge, Swift Current Care Center, and the Palliser Regional Care Center are the target areas for the city's new housing plan. An overall plan which will help the city's growth well into the future.
Over the next 25-year period, there would be a demand for approximately 2,400 units in this community. And out of that, half would most likely be multifamily.
Key areas of the city, which will make ideal locations for future residential growth, with many essential services already in place.
Yeah, you know, when you look at the infill areas, they have their sewer and water, and a lot of them have sidewalks and those types of things, and paved streets. But further than that, a lot of them have, you know, kind of, they're established neighborhoods, so there's some value to that. Almost all the locations are very good locations within the city, so I think there's going to be some good demand to develop those areas. But again, we just want to make sure that as we move forward in this process, that the proper development takes place in each of those sites. And again, it could be years out, but you got to make sure you stay ahead of the curve.
And in most cases, the former schools in question will be demolished with new housing construction developed. However, what may happen to the long-term care buildings remains to be seen, as far as add-on construction to existing facilities or a fresh-from-the-ground approach.
We haven't been in that in-depth discussion with the health authority or the province. I would suspect that they'll be completely redeveloped, those areas, including the school sites. But in terms of, I don't think that has been 100% finalized.
The Swift Current Housing Plan was originally presented to Mayor and Council in late 2012, with a green light now given to be used as a guiding document for the future. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at mylocaltv.ca. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.